Hello everyone, and welcome to Babylon Leather's official channel. Today, we'll be crafting the men's Cambridge satchel. Here is the display of the finished result. First, inspect all materials. If any issues arise, contact Babylon Official Support. A pack of hardware. 2 bag latches. Two of these long strip materials. Two long strip materials. One zipper material, with the side where the zipper pull is being the front. 2 zipper tab materials. Two gusset loops. 2 small strap keepers on the front pocket. 2 shoulder strap keepers. 1 bottom material. 1 front pocket panel material. 1 front pocket material. 1 inner pocket material. 1 bottom pad material. 2 side panel materials. 1 back panel material. 1 front panel material. 1 flap material. First, take the front pocket material. Distinguish the front and back of the leather pieces by looking at the holes: larger holes for the front, smaller holes for the back. Measure the thread to be 4 times the length of the sewn part, then cut it. Each time, you can measure a bit more thread to ensure that there is more than enough available. Unwind a spool of thread and take 2 needles. Set aside the remaining needles for later. Start threading the needle by first passing the thread through the needle's eye. Then, pass the needle tip through the middle of the thread. Tighten it, and that completes the threading of the needle. Thread the other needle using the same method. With the material facing up, start stitching by pulling the thread from the bottom to the top through the top right hole. Then, let the second needle pass through the second hole. Pull both threads to ensure they remain the same length. Next, have the first needle go through the second hole, then tighten the thread. Be careful not to catch the thread. Tighten the thread, and now we have successfully started sewing. Then, using the saddle stitch method, sew this material individually, stitching decorative stitches to enhance the final look of the bag. After each stitch, tighten the thread while maintaining a consistent stitching direction. Be careful not to catch the thread. Don't skip any holes. Make sure to pull the thread vertically to avoid damaging the leather material. Make sure to pay attention to these details during each sewing step. No more hints will be provided later. After sewing this row, secure the thread. Begin by sewing 1 additional stitch backward to reinforce. Then, pull the thread to the back. Leave a 3 mm thread tail, cut it, and use a lighter to burn the end to secure the thread. Slow down to avoid blackening the thread end or burning the leather. Take a look at the result after sewing. Take the front pocket material and the front pocket tab material, ensuring both are facing up and aligned according to the holes. Note that after aligning, the front pocket material has one more hole on one side compared to the tab material. Measure twice the length of the thread and thread the needles normally. Start stitching. The first stitch is to sew the front pocket material individually. For the second stitch, go from the bottom to the top through the second hole of the front panel, then through the first hole of the tab material. Then, using the double needle sewing method, sew through this row of holes normally, making sure the last hole is also stitched through the front panel material individually. After sewing, secure the thread on the back. Leave a 3 mm thread tail, cut it, and use a lighter to burn the end to secure the thread. Slow down to avoid blackening the thread end or burning the leather. Take a look at the result after sewing. Use the same method to sew the other one. Then take these to long strip materials. Note that there are several types of strip materials. These two are the flap tabs. This long strip material with no holes at both ends is also not what we will be using. We will now use the long strip material that has holes on all sides. One side of the long strip material has been thinned. The thin side is the back. If it has not been thinned, then it does not have a specific front or back. Measure 8 times the length of the thread and thread the needles normally. Place both materials facing up. Align the thin part of the strip material with the notch, ensuring alignment according to the holes. Start stitching. The first needle goes from the bottom to the top through the first hole of the strip material. For the second needle, go from the bottom to the top through the first hole of the front pocket, then through the second hole of the strip material. Then, sew normally through the first 6 holes. Now we have finished sewing the first 6 holes. Then go back 1 stitch, bringing the needle to the front. Next, sew forward through 1 hole, making sure to bring the needle through the gap between the 2 materials. Then sew the long strip material individually. Stop after sewing to the 6th hole on the opposite side. Now we are going to sew the 6th hole. Then take the bottom needle and sew normally. When stitching from the front to the bottom, include the front pocket material, then sew forward to complete the remaining holes, securing the thread on the back at the end. Take a look at the result after sewing. Use the same method to sew the other one. Take the front panel material. The side without holes is the opening of the bag. The side with holes is the bottom of the bag. Then take these 2 long strip materials with the diagonal edges facing the bottom of the bag. The extra row of holes should align with the holes of the front panel material like this. All materials should be facing up. Measure 4 times the length of the thread and thread the needles normally. Start sewing from the 3rd hole of the front panel, going from the bottom to the top. Then go from the bottom to the top through the 1st hole of the strip material. The 2nd needle should go through the adjacent holes of both materials in order, then sew forward normally. Sew the other side using the same method. Then take the front pocket material, ensuring both materials are facing up, and align them according to the holes like this. Measure 4 times the length of the thread and thread the needles normally. Be careful not to misplace the direction. Make sure to align the first hole according to the bag opening direction, with the insides of both materials touching. Begin sewing by threading the first needle through the first hole. Pull both threads to ensure they remain the same length. Then take one of the needles and wrap the thread around it once like this. It's better to align the holes first and then use a clip to secure them for easier stitching. Then sew forward normally, ensuring the thread is pulled vertically, otherwise, it may damage the leather. After finishing the holes on the strip, the front pocket material has a few more holes. Be careful to sew normally when going from the bottom to the top. When stitching from the front to the bottom, go through the corresponding hole and stitch the materials together like this. Then finish sewing forward and secure the thread on the back. Take a look at the result after sewing. Use the same method to sew the other one. Take the bottom material and the two side materials. Align the notched corners of the side materials with the bottom material according to the holes like this. Ensure both materials are facing up with the bottom material on top. Measure 3 times the length of the thread and thread the needles normally. Align the holes according to the previous order. The first needle goes from the bottom to the top through the first hole of the bottom material individually. The second needle first goes from the bottom to the top through the first hole of the side material, then goes through the second hole of the bottom material. Then sew forward to finish this row of holes. The last hole is also sewn through the bottom material individually, and after sewing, secure the thread on the back. Take a look at the result after sewing. Use the same method to sew the other one. Locate the holes at this position on the side material. Then take the strap keeper material and the D-ring hardware and assemble them like this. Ensure that the insides of the strap keeper material are touching, with a semicircle of the hardware exposed on the outside. Align according to the holes on the side material. Both materials should be facing up, ensuring the direction is not mistaken. Sew this U-shaped hole, noting that the row of holes at the top is not to be sewn now. Measure 3 times the length of the thread and thread the needles normally. Start stitching from this hole going from the bottom to the top, then sew through in the previously demonstrated order, finally securing the thread on the back. Take a look at the result after sewing. Use the same method to sew the other one. Take the zipper material, facing up. Then take the two zipper tabs, both facing up. Place the notched side on the outside and align it with the top row of holes. Measure 4 times the length of the thread and thread the needles normally. Both materials should be facing up. First, sew the rightmost row of holes, being careful not to sew through the wrong holes. Start sewing from the first hole, then sew through this row of holes normally, finally securing the thread on the back. Take a spare needle, cut a small length of thread, align according to the holes, and secure the holes like this. It will be easier to sew. When you reach the position of the secured thread, cut the secured thread and then continue to sew normally. It's okay if the zipper opens during sewing. First, pull out the zipper slider. Then, make sure the raised side of the zipper teeth on both sides is facing down. Then take the zipper slider, ensuring the curved side is facing down. First, thread the left zipper, then the right. Note that the teeth of the right zipper should be one higher than the left. Then pull down to the middle, and that's it. Use the same method to sew the second row of holes. Note that only these 2 rows should be sewn. Do not sew the leftmost row of holes at this time. Take the other zipper tab and sew it using the same method. Then take the materials for the bottom and sides, ensuring they are facing up. Take the zipper facing up and align it with this row of holes. Measure 6 times the length of the thread and thread the needles normally. Start stitching with both materials facing up, with the side material on top. The first stitch should be made only through the side material. For the second stitch, first go from the bottom to the top through the first hole of the zipper, then from the bottom to the top through the second hole of the side material. Then sew forward normally. When sewing the holes at this position, make sure to pass through the middle or sides of the zipper and avoid stitching on the zipper teeth. Take a look at the result after sewing. Then fold the materials like this and sew them using the same method. Then take these to hardware pieces, first remove the plastic buckle, and set the hardware aside for later use. Take the 2 rings and the front pocket material. First, assemble the ring like this, ensuring that the side with the gap is facing down. Then take this plastic buckle. This is the back side. This is the front side. With the front side facing up, thread the leather strip from bottom to top through the large hole on the right. Then, from top to bottom, go through the large hole on the left, adjusting to your desired length. Then thread the remaining strip of material through the rings. Assemble the other one using the same method. Take the flap material and locate the holes at this position. Take this piece of hardware, the side with the small ring is the back side. The side without the small ring is the front side. Place it facing up. Then take the front pocket strap keepers and assemble them like this, ensuring the insides are facing each other. Measure 3 times the length of the thread and thread the needles normally. Align according to the holes on the flap material, ensuring both materials are facing up. Do not mix up the orientation. Start from any hole and sew a complete circle normally, then hide the thread on the back. If the needle is difficult to pull out, gently wiggle it side to side when it's in the middle of the material before pulling it out, otherwise, you might break the needle. Sew the other one using the same method. Start from this hole, then finish sewing the demonstrated holes individually. Measure 4 times the length of the thread and thread the needles normally. Start sewing from the hole demonstrated just now, then continue sewing normally until you reach the corresponding hole. Take a look at the result after sewing. Take the back piece of material, measure 8 times the length of the thread, and thread the needles normally. Take the flap material and the back material. Both should be facing up, with a flap on top, and align according to the holes. Start from the first hole and sew normally to the right. Stop after sewing the 6th hole of the first row. After finishing, take the inner pocket material. Place the back material face down. The inner pocket material should be facing up. Align according to the holes like this, ensuring the direction is not mixed up. When sewing the 7th hole, include the inner pocket material, then sew the remaining holes normally, finally hiding the thread on the back. Be careful not to sew incorrectly. Set it aside for later use. Take the front material and the bottom material. Both materials should be facing up, with the bottom material on top. Align according to the holes. Locate the marked holes on both materials. The marked holes are significantly larger than the others. Place the side material like this first, measure 8 times the length of the thread, and thread the needles normally. Both materials should be facing up, with the bottom material on top. Align according to the holes. Start sewing. The first needle should go from bottom to top through the marked hole of the front material. Then, go from bottom to top through the marked hole of the side material, ensuring you do not mix up the holes. The second needle should go through the holes on the right side of both materials in the same order, then sew normally to the right. For holes that have been sewn once, simply thread the needles through normally. Do not skip any holes. When sewing to the corners, you can thread one material at a time, which is more convenient. Sew a complete circle of holes normally, then hide the thread on the back. Take a look at the result after sewing. Be sure to start from the marked hole. Do not skip any holes. Then take the back material. Measure 4 times the length of the thread and thread the needles normally. Align according to the marked holes using the same method and sew them in the same order. Align the holes like this first, then make a few securing stitches for easier sewing. Align the holes like this first, then make a few securing stitches for easier sewing. Take a look at the result after sewing. Then take the bottom studs and the screwdriver. Place the bottom pad facing up inside the bag. Place the screws from inside out, putting the bottom studs outside, and then tighten the 4 screws. Be sure to tighten them, otherwise, they may loosen during use. The screws shouldn't protrude too much. You need to press firmly and then tighten them so that the finished bag is sturdy and aesthetically pleasing. The bag is finished. Thank you for choosing Babylon Leather. Wishing you the acquisition of valuable skills during your time here. If you've enjoyed our video, don't forget to like, comment, and share. For more information about this Babylon Leather DIY kit, check out the link and details in the description. Thanks for watching.